Hello and welcome to this video tutorial, how to move the Funds Journal area partition. Service Desk does searches through the files when they open. To keep the searches fast, a bookmark or area partition is added to the Funds Journal to mark already processed records. This keeps Service Desk from searching back further than it needs to. Occasionally, if you're not using Service Desk fully, or if you've gotten behind in your work, you'll receive this message that your area partition needs to be moved. We'll go ahead and click OK to allow Service Desk to attempt to run that process for us. In this case, the process was unable to move the partition forward because we have items that have not been processed. We now have two options. If we are using the Funds Journal properly and have simply gotten behind in our work, we should choose the second option and let Service Desk help us clean up the file. When we choose this option, we're given instructions on how to manage the old items. Essentially, we'll want to go into the Funds Journal and manage the undeposited items. Once that has been completed, we'll go in and manage the unverified deposits. There are two videos to assist you with this process. We can do this manually, or we can click OK to this message, and Service Desk will invoke the search for us. In this case, it seems that we have two old checks from September that are holding up the process. At this point, we'll want to do the research with our accounting staff, technicians, and maybe even our bank to find out what happened to those two checks. It is possible the techs didn't turn them in, or perhaps they were deposited but we simply missed them in the checkoff process. Once we've figured out what happened to these checks, we can go ahead and mark them off and the partition will be moved forward. What do you do, however, if you're not fully using the Funds Journal? Let's go back to the original message. If we choose that we are not fully using the system, Service Desk will offer to mark off all of the items in your system as deposited. Please note that you should proceed with caution on this issue as it will mark everything in your Funds Journal, including any funds that you've received today. We can now see that those old items have been checked off. We now have a clean slate to move forward with correctly processing our Funds Journal. This concludes this video. Thank you for watching How to Move the Funds Journal Area Partition.